Hello students, today I would like to explain about meter bridge. This meter bridge is based on Wheatstone principle. So first of all, to dictate about meter bridge, I would like to tell you what is Wheatstone bridge. In Wheatstone bridge, Wheatstone is the name of a scientist. He has designed a circuit. That circuit is known as bridge. He has taken 4 resistance PQ, RS. This PQ is combined in series and RS is also combined in series. Then these two combinations are combined in parallel. Suppose that like this way, here P and here it is Q. Again, here R and this is S. These are connected in parallel. तो यहाँ पर PQ सीरीज में है, RS भी सीरीज में है. अब इसका और इसका जो कॉम्बिनेशन है वह एक दूसरे के साथ पैरेलल में है. तो ये बैलेंस तब होगा जब P बाई क्यू इक्वल टू R बाई S होता है. आपने देखा होगा कि इस तरह से एक कनेक्शन बनाया जाता है लाइक दिस वे. हियर इट इज P, ये Q, R और ये है S. A, B, C, D. इस तरह P और Q सीरीज में हो गया, R और S सीरीज में हो गया. फिर इनका जो कॉम्बिनेशन है वह एक दूसरे के साथ पैरेलल में हो गया. इस तरह से A, B, C, D एक क्वाड्रिलेटरल बन गया. अब इसके 2 डायगोनल हैं, एक AC है और दूसरा BD है. अगर हम डायगोनल AC को एक सेल से कनेक्ट कर दें और डायगोनल BD को गैल्वेनोमीटर से कनेक्ट कर दें, तो यहाँ पर इस सेल से जब हम करंट I इस पूरे सर्किट में भेजेंगे तो पॉइंट A पर इसे 2 ब्रांच मिलेगी. इस ब्रांच में करंट I1 है और इस ब्रांच में करंट I2 है. ये करंट I1 जब पॉइंट B पर पहुंचेगा तो फिर इसको 2 ब्रांच मिलेगी. एक ब्रांच ये है और दूसरी ब्रांच ये है. यदि हम ये सपोज करें कि इस ब्रांच में BD ब्रांच में कोई करंट फ्लो नहीं कर रही है तो टोटल करंट इससे होकर पास आउट होगी. उसी तरह से अगर AD से आ रही है करंट I2 और इस ब्रांच में कोई करंट न जाए तो DC से होकर के जो करंट पास करेगी वो है I2. इन दिस वे द टोटल करंट मीटिंग एट द पॉइंट C बिकम्स I. अब यहाँ पर ABDA इस ब्रांच में ABDA इस ब्रांच में यदि हम किरचॉफ्स सेकंड लॉ अप्लाई करें तो इस तरह से हम एक एरो ले सकते हैं. तो ये हो जाएगा माइनस I1 इंटू P प्लस दिस विल बी I2 इंटू R इक्वल टू 0. सो I1 इंटू P इक्वल टू I2 इंटू R. Similarly, in branch BCDB, this becomes minus I1 into Q plus I2 into S equal to 0. Therefore, I1Q is equal to I2S. On dividing these two, we have P by Q is equal to R by S. This is the condition for this Wheatstone bridge to be in balanced condition here. तो इस ब्रिज को हम व्हीटस्टोन ब्रिज बोलते हैं और इस ब्रिज के बैलेंस होने की जो कंडीशन है वह P बाई क्यू इक्वल टू R बाई S है. आइए इसी प्रिंसिपल को हम अप्लाई करते हैं मीटर ब्रिज में. मीटर ब्रिज एक ऐसा इंस्ट्रूमेंट है, ऐसा इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जिसके द्वारा हम किसी वायर का रेजिस्टेंस फाइंड कर सकते हैं और उसके मटेरियल का स्पेसिफिक रेजिस्टेंस भी हम निकाल सकते हैं. तो मीटर ब्रिज इज एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट बाय व्हिच वी कैन मेजर द रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ एनी कंडक्टिंग मटेरियल एंड इट्स स्पेसिफिक रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ इट्स मेटल। मीटर ब्रिज, दिस इज बेस्ड ऑन Wheatstone bridge principle, and for the balancing condition of Wheatstone bridge is equal to P by Q is equal to R by S. This P by Q is known as armed ratio. R is called known resistance and S is called unknown resistance. तो इस फार्मूले का यूज करके हम मीटर ब्रिज की सहायता से S की वैल्यू निकाल सकते हैं। आइए जरा ये जानने की कोशिश करते हैं कि इसको हम मीटर ब्रिज क्यों कहते हैं। वाई इट इज कॉल्ड मीटर ब्रिज। मीटर, इस मीटर ब्रिज को डिजाइन करने में जिस वायर का हम यूज करते हैं उसकी लेंथ करेक्ट 1 मीटर ली जाती है, इसीलिए इसको हम मीटर ब्रिज कहते हैं। जब हम इसकी सर्किट डिजाइन करते हैं तो यहाँ पर 1 मीटर लंबा वायर लिया जाता है AB। The length of this wire is AB and it is uniform. This wire is made of constantan or manganese. Constantan या मैग्नीन ये एलॉय होता है और एलॉय की जो रेजिस्टिविटी है वह टेम्परेचर के साथ स्लोली इंक्रीज करती है, इसलिए सर्किट पर इसका कोई बैड इफेक्ट नहीं पड़ता। इसलिए हम यहाँ AB को एलॉय के रूप में लेते हैं, न कि किसी कंडक्टिंग मटेरियल का। इस वायर AB को, जिसकी लेंथ 1 मीटर है, इसे हम एक वुडन टेबल पर जड़ देते हैं और A तथा B के इन साइड से L शेप की 2 कॉपर स्ट्रिप लगा देते हैं। एक इस साइड में हो जाता है और दूसरा इस साइड में हो जाता है। ये दोनों कॉपर स्ट्रिप्स जो L शेप की हैं ये जस्ट सिमिलर होती हैं और इनके बीच में जो स्पेस है, दोनों साइड से थोड़ा सा स्पेस वैकेंट छोड़ते हुए एक और स्ट्रेट कॉपर स्ट्रिप फिक्स की जाती है और ये पूरा सिस्टम उसी वुडन बॉक्स के ऊपर जड़ दिया जाता है। फिर यहाँ पर जो स्पेस ये वैकेंट है, इसमें हम एक रेजिस्टेंस बॉक्स लगा देते हैं और इस वैकेंट प्लेस पर हम वह रेजिस्टेंस लगा देते हैं जिसका हमको फाइंड करना है। इसके बाद हम यहाँ बीच में एक गैल्वेनोमीटर अटैच करते हैं, दिस गैल्वेनोमीटर, एंड दिस गैल्वेनोमीटर इज अटैच्ड टू ए जॉकी G. Now point A and point B is connected to a cell to supply the current in wire AB. This is the system for meter bridge. यहाँ पर हम इसको देखते हैं, ये जो कनेक्टिंग मटेरियल्स है ये कॉपर का है। कॉपर का होने की वजह से सर्किट के टोटल रेजिस्टेंस पर इसका इफेक्ट नहीं पड़ता, इसलिए हम इसको कॉपर का बनाते हैं। और AB जो है ये 1 मीटर लॉन्ग वायर है और इसको हम कांस्टेनन या मैग्नीन का बनाते हैं, क्योंकि ये एलॉय होता है और एलॉय की रेजिस्टिविटी टेम्परेचर के साथ बहुत स्लोली वेरी करती है, जिससे रिजल्ट पर कोई बैड इफेक्ट नहीं पड़ता। अब इसकी प्रिंसिपल को आप देखिए, जब हम इस सेल से करंट फ्लो कराते हैं वायर AB में, तो इस वायर AB में A से B की ओर पोटेंशियल ड्रॉप होता है और जैसे जैसे करंट A से B की ओर इंक्रीज करती जाती है वैसे वैसे पोटेंशियल ड्रॉप होता जाता है। यदि हम इसमें रेजिस्टेंस बॉक्स से एक नॉन रेजिस्टेंस पूरे सर्किट में अप्लाई कर दें और उसके बाद इस सेल से हम करंट सप्लाई करें वायर AB में, तब जॉकी को, ये जो जॉकी है, इस जॉकी को वायर AB पर हम A से B या B से A की ओर स्लाइड करा सकते हैं। जब इस जॉकी को मान लीजिए हम सबसे पहले पॉइंट A की ओर टच कराते हैं और इसका डिफ्लेक्शन, गैल्वेनोमीटर का डिफ्लेक्शन देखते हैं, और उसके बाद जब जॉकी को हम B के साइड में टच कराएंगे तो फिर जस्ट गैल्वेनोमीटर का जो डिफ्लेक्शन है वो रिवर्स हो जाता है। तो इसका मतलब इन दोनों पॉइंट्स के अंदर एक ऐसा पॉइंट मिल जाएगा जहां पर इस जाकी को रखने से गैल्वेनोमीटर में कोई डिफ्लेक्शन नहीं आएगा। तो इस पॉइंट को, यदि इस पॉइंट पर जाकी को रखा जाए और गैल्वेनोमीटर में कोई डिफ्लेक्शन ना आए तो इसको हम नल पॉइंट या न्यूट्रल पॉइंट्स बोलते हैं। दिस इज कॉल्ड नल पॉइंट। जैसे ही हमको ये नल पॉइंट मिलता है, ये वायर दो पार्ट्स में डिवाइड हो जाता है, एक पार्ट है एजे और दूसरा पार्ट है बीजे। तो दिस इज पी एंड दिस इज क्यू। द रेजिस्टेंस, सपोज दैट रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ पार्ट एजे इज पी एंड रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ पार्ट बीजे इज क्यू। इस तरह से पी क्यू आर एस हम ये देखते हैं कि यहाँ पर व्हीटस्टोन ब्रिज बन जा रहा है। अब इस व्हीटस्टोन ब्रिज के बैलेंसिंग कंडीशन को हम यहाँ अप्लाई करते हैं तो हमें मिलेगा P बाई क्यू इज इक्वल टू R बाई एस। वायर यूनिफॉर्म है। लेट अस सपोज फ्रॉम A to J इट इज L सेंटीमीटर here, and from B to J it is 100 minus L centimeter. Since you know that rho is equal to RA upon L, this implies that R is equal to rho L upon A. So apply this formula to find out P and Q. This P is equal to rho L upon area A and Q is equal to rho, here it is 100 minus L divided by A. Since this wire AB is taken uniform, therefore its area at each part of the wire remains constant. Now this becomes P by Q is equal to, after solving it we have L upon 100 minus L. P by Q is equal to L upon 100 minus L. Therefore R by S is equal to L upon 100 minus L. So S is equal to 100 minus L upon L into R. This is the formula by which we can find out S, which is resistance of this unknown wire. L यहाँ पर एक मीटर स्केल लगा होता है from here to here. So with the help of that meter scale we can measure out this length from A to J and then 100 minus L. तो इस तरह से हम यहाँ पर लेंथ को रख करके कैलकुलेट करेंगे और चूंकि जो R की वैल्यू है ये रेजिस्टेंस बॉक्स से ऑलरेडी हमको पता है, क्योंकि हमने कितना ओम इसमें अप्लाई किया है वो हमको रेजिस्टेंस बॉक्स से मिल जाता है। तो इस तरह से S इज इक्वल टू 100 माइनस L अपॉन L इंटू R. नाउ वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट स्पेसिफिक रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ दिस वायर. फॉर दिस पर्पज वी नो दैट रो इज इक्वल टू फार्मूला RA upon L. Here L is length of this wire which is given to find out. R into area pi R square divided by L. So this becomes R into pi d by 2 whole square divided by L, where d is diameter of the wire. So this becomes pi R d square upon 4L. Now to find out specific resistance of the given wire, yes, rho is equal to pi S d square upon 4 this L. Here d is here d diameter and L length of wire S. Length of wire S. So in this way we can find out specific resistance of the given wire. Now Try to understand once again. Meter ब्रिज, एक बार हम फिर से रिपीट कर देते हैं. मीटर ब्रिज is the apparatus based on Wheatstone bridge. This Wheatstone bridge will be called in balanced condition if P by Q is equal to R by S. This is the principle of Wheatstone bridge in balanced condition. Now this meter bridge consists of 1 meter long wire made of manganese or tungsten, and that is fixed on a table. On point A and point B, two L-shaped copper strips are fixed, and leaving some gap between these two copper L-shaped, a straight strip is fixed. So this gap is connected to resistance box R, and this gap is connected to the given wire S, and here point A and point B is connected to the cell. When we supply the current to this wire AB, there is a potential difference from A to B. Now this R resistance, a known resistance is applied in the circuit and current flows from the cell. Then this jockey is placed first on A side and then on B side. Looking the deflection in galvanometer, we find that when we put jockey on A side, then its deflection is one side, and on putting here on B side, then its deflection will be just reverse. So it is definite that between these 2 points there is a point where no deflection will be shown in the galvanometer. So this point is known as null point. Now suppose that from A to J it is L centimeter, and from B to J it is 100 minus L centimeter. Then apply this formula, P by Q is equal to R by S. Since we know that rho is equal to RA upon L and rho is equal to RA upon L, implies that R is equal to rho L upon A. So to find out resistance of part AJ, it is P is equal to rho L upon A, and Q is equal to rho 100 minus L upon A. Therefore, P by Q is equal to L upon 100 minus L. Now putting here, we have R by S is equal to L upon 100 minus L. Therefore, S is equal to this much. Since L is measured by the meter scale and R is taken from this resistance box, putting here, we get the value of S, that is resistance of the wire. Now to find out specific resistance of its material, we have to apply this formula, rho is equal to RA upon L. So R into A area, pi R square divided by L. Here L is the length of this given wire S. R into pi D by 2 whole square divided by L. So pi R D square by 4L. Putting the value of R as S, because it is given there. Rho is equal to pi S D square upon 4L. So here D is diameter of this wire and L is its length. To find out the diameter of this wire, we have to use a screw gauge. With the help of a screw gauge, we can measure the diameter of this wire. So in this way, meter bridge will give you the successfully the value of resistance of this wire. Now next, and today I would like to explain about potentiometer. This potentiometer, when this word is analyzed, then we find potential plus measurement. So by the name, it is clear that this is the instrument which is used for measuring potential difference between 2 points on a conducting wire. Now, potentiometer is very sensitive instrument in comparison of voltmeter that is utilized to measure potential difference or EMF of any unknown cell. So this potentiometer is used for two purposes. First, it can be used to determine electromotive force of a cell, and second, it may also be used to find out internal resistance of that particular cell, or it is also used to measure potential difference between 2 points on wire in a circuit. Now, the object of this potentiometer is clear, so its circuit is divided in two parts. Here, one part is called primary circuit, and second is called secondary circuit. What is the purpose of primary circuit and what is the purpose of secondary circuit? When we combine this primary circuit to the secondary circuit, then we will get the complete circuit of potentiometer instrument. Now, how to construct this potentiometer that is used for the purpose of measuring potential difference in laboratory? Now we take, suppose that a wire AB. The length of this wire AB is taken approximately 12 meter to 20 meter in the lab. The length of this wire is larger to increase the sensitivity of potentiometer. What is sensitivity of potentiometer? I will give you after the lecture. Now, the wire AB, its length is 12 meters, suppose, and it is made of alloy, that is constantan or manganese. These two are alloys. So the potentiometer wire is made of approximately 12 meter to 20 meter, and the material which is used for making this wire is manganese or constantan. This manganese or constantan are alloys. Why alloys are taken here, not any conducting material? You know that alloys are those materials on which their resistivity actually depends on the temperature, but increasing temperature, its resistivity slowly increasing. So there will be no more effect of increasing temperature in this wire on the resistivity of this manganese wire. So this is the reason that we are taking this wire AB made of alloy like manganese or constantan. Now the length of this wire is 12 meter. It will be very difficult to keep this 12 meter long table in a laboratory. So for the convenience, we divide this wire AB into many equal parts. Suppose that we have taken 4 equal parts here of this wire, 3 meter, 3 meter, 3 meter and 3 meter. So this wire AB of 12 meter long is cut into 4 equal parts, and the length of each equal part is 3 meters. These 4 parts of this wire is connected by copper strip here and here and here. So with the help of this copper strips, all these parts of the wires is connected in series. Now what will be the shape of potentiometer in lab? Here we will take, this is the first part, second part, third part, fourth parts like this way. All these length of all these parts are equal. This is connected by copper strip, and this part is also connected by copper strip, and here it is connected by copper strip. In this way, all these four parts of the wire is connected in series with the help of this copper strip. Now this is end A and this is end B of this wire AB. This end A is connected here with a driving cell. Driving cell with, here it is K, and this part is connected to B. So the end of wire A and B is connected with a driving cell. Its EMF is E0 and internal resistance is R0. Why it is called driving cell, or it is also known as a standard cell? Here E0 and R0. This is called EMF and this is internal resistance of the cell. Both are known here, so this is known as a standard cell. Now this part, this point A is connected to a cell whose EMF is to be measured with the help of this potentiometer. It is negative terminal and this is the positive terminal. This positive terminal is connected to a galvanometer and attached with a shunt. Here this is shunt wire, and this end of galvanometer is attached to a jockey J. Jockey. This jockey can slide over this wire. So this is the system which is obtained in the laboratory. But in the case of, to understand the principle of potentiometer, we does not follow this situation, this circuit. So we have to decide the circuit of potentiometer wire in two parts. One is primary circuit and other is secondary circuit. So to understand the primary circuit, we does not take this shape of the wire, but we take a long straight wire AB. Now here aim of primary circuit. Aim of primary circuit. What is the aim of primary circuit? Why it is designed? What is its necessity? Let us suppose this is standard cell. Its EMF E0 and internal resistance R0. These two parts of this cell is known, so it is called a standard cell. Now its positive terminal is connected to the point A and negative terminal is connected to the point B of potentiometer wire. Now here let us suppose RAB is the resistance of wire AB and LAB is its length, and wire AB is of uniform, so its diameter is same at each point of this wire AB. Now here if current I flows through the cell in this wire AB, then from A to B in the direction of current there is a potential drop. Now at any moment, if we want to find out the potential gradient of this material of the wire, then we have to use this formula, K is equal to VAB upon LAB. So now Remember this point. The aim of this primary circuit is to measure potential gradient of the material of wire AB. So how to measure potential gradient? Since by definition potential gradient is called potential drop in per unit length of this wire is called its potential gradient. So by the definition we may write it potential drop in per unit length of wire AB. It is called potential gradient. Its unit should be volt per meter. Actually, it is equal to the electric field intensity. Electric field intensity is equal to the potential gradient. Now here, since K is equal to VAB upon L, AB, it is potential drop between point A to B, and LAB is length of this wire. Now here, since VAB, this is equal to current into RAB by Ohm's law. Current which is supplied by this driving cell in this wire, and RAB is the resistance of wire AB. So VAB is equal to I RAB. But I is equal to, by the formula you know that it will be calculated here EMF of the standard cell divided by total resistance of the circuit. So total resistance of the circuit RAB plus R naught. Resistance of this wire AB and internal resistance of the cell, on addition it will give you the total resistance of the circuit. So I is equal to this much. Therefore VAB, this becomes here IRAB. So this will be E naught into RAB upon RAB plus R naught. This is VAB. Okay. Putting this value VAB in place of this formula, we have K is equal to here E naught into RAB upon RAB plus R0 here into LAB. So this is the formula to calculate potential gradient of the material of wire AB. Is it clear? Now come to the next. Now here, this is the aim of primary circuit in potentiometer to calculate potential gradient of the material of this wire here. E naught is given to you, it is known value. R naught also known value. RAB it is also known value, and LAB is also known. So by putting all these values in this formula, we may easily calculate the potential gradient of the wire material AB. Now here the secondary circuit. What is the purpose of secondary circuit? By the use of potentiometer you can find out EMF of any given cell. What is EMF of a given cell? When cell is in open, this means no current is drawn from the cell, then potential difference between the plates of the cell is just equal to the EMF of the cell. Now here, if we want to measure EMF of a given cell, then we have to connect it here. Let us suppose this is point A and this is point B. Here a cell is connected. This is the cell whose EMF is to be measured by the use of potentiometer wire, minus and plus. Let us suppose its EMF is E. Now here it is connected to the point Q. This point Q is connected to galvanometer, and this galvanometer is also connected to the shunt. Now it is connected to the jockey J. So this is the complete circuit for potentiometer. Now here it is the part of primary circuit, and this becomes the part of secondary circuit. Jointly these two circuits are called potentiometer. Now here let us suppose if we put jockey on wire AB at this point J, and we see that there is no deflection in the galvanometer, then this point is known as null point. In this case, if there is no deflection in the galvanometer, this means the cell is not sending any current to the galvanometer. If cell is not sending any current to the galvanometer, then we can say that cell is in open circuit. In that case, potential of this point Q and potential of this point J will be same. Similarly, from this point A to P, potential at the point A and potential at the point P will also be same. So there is no potential difference between AB. Similarly, there is no potential difference between Q and J. In that case, this cell is called in open circuit, and when it is in open circuit, then potential difference between these two plates will be just equal to the EMF of this cell. Now here, from this VA is equal to VP, because both are on same potential. In the case of null point, or in the case of no deflection in galvanometer, again here Vj is equal to Vq. This means A and P are on same potential. Similarly, J and Q are on same potential. From here we can say Va minus Vj is equal to Vp minus Vq. Now here Va minus Vj, it is potential difference between point A and J. Vp minus Vq is potential difference between point P and Q. Here if Vp minus Vq is equal to Va minus Vj, then we can say Va minus Vj, let us suppose from A to J it is L. From A to J it is L. This means this null point is obtained at a distance L from the end A. So Va minus Vj is equal to Vp minus Vq. This Vp minus Vq is equal to E. P minus Q, Vp minus Vq is the potential difference between the plates of this cell, and it is just equal to the EMF in open circuit. And Va minus Vj, you know that K is equal to V upon L, implies that V is equal to KL. So this will be written as K into L, where K is potential gradient of material AB and L is length of this part of wire AJ. So this is the formula E is equal to KL. With the help of this formula, we may be able to calculate EMF of this given cell E. Now, there are two purposes of this potentiometer wire. First, to compare EMF of two given cells, and the second to find out internal resistance of the cell. How to compare this? Look here. Let us suppose we have two cells. This is cell number 1 and this is cell number 2. both the cells are connected like this way. Its positive terminal here it is key K1 and here key K2, and both are connected to the point Q, and this point Q is connected to the galvanometer, and this galvanometer is attached with a jockey J. Now suppose that during the experiment, in the first case, we switch off this cell E2 and its EMF is E1. If this cell is switched off, then current will flow by this cell, not by this cell. In that case, let us suppose from A to J it is L1. This J is null point. It is from A to J, this length is L1. Then this E1 will be equal to KL1. KL1. Again, the same repetition. This cell is switched off and this cell is on. And suppose that in this case, this deflection is obtained at the point J dash and its length is L2. Here. So this will be E2 is equal to KL2. So E1 upon E2 is equal to L1 upon L2. By measuring L1 and L2, we may compare EMF of both the cells. Second part, to find internal resistance of the given cell. Let us suppose this is the cell, it is given, its EMF is E, internal resistance is R, and here we connect a external resistance R between the point here. Let us suppose this is point Q. This is the circuit to find out internal resistance of the given cell. Now this is connected to the external resistance capital R. So first of all, we find the null point. We find the null point J by using only this cell, not this resistance. In the first case, when this resistance is not used, then E will be equal to KL1 here. And when this is connected to parallel of this cell, resistance R, and suppose that potential is V, potential difference across this wire or this resistor is suppose that V, and null point is obtained at J dash. When we are connecting this resistance, then current will be divided here, and when current is divided, then null point will change. Let us suppose in the presence of this capital R to this circuit, null point is obtained at the point J dash from the point A. So AJ dash is suppose that L2, then V is equal to, this becomes KL2. Therefore, E upon V is equal to L1 upon L2. Since we know that V is equal to E minus IR, if cell is sending current to the circuit, then V is equal to E minus IR. Now here V, this is suppose that 1 E by V minus I by V into R, dividing by V on both sides. So this will be 1 is equal to, in place of E upon V, write L1 by L2, L1 by L2 minus I upon, this will be written as IR into small r. So this I is cancelled out and take on this side, small r by capital R is equal to L1 by L2 minus 1, implies that small r is equal to capital R L1 by L2 minus 1. So this is the formula used for collecting this internal resistance.